Alright, so this is my video for Introduction to Computers, Aspen University, mj8, Professor Jones. I'm going to preface this by saying I'm a little bit nervous. I don't usually talk on camera. I'm going to discuss my first piece of technology, what technology I have now, and how I envision technology in 20 years. So my first piece of technology, I remember, we were not allowed to have televisions at my house, so we had radios and tape decks. And you had to position yourself correctly to make this mixtape, which was a wonderful thing. If you were lucky, you had a tape deck and a radio together, so you could just push the buttons. But if you had a radio and a tape deck with a microphone separate, you had to find the sweet spot where the microphone wasn't too close to the radio to be staticky or too far away to be muffled. Once you found that spot, then you had to have your fingers ready at all times above play, record, and pause, because you didn't want to have the disc jockey talk above your music or over your music. And if you got a mixtape, you were in heaven. And giving someone a mixtape was just the hardest thing to do. It was kind of like those prom proposals that you see on YouTube all the time now. It was very nerve-wracking. And then I grew up and we had a pager. That was the first piece of property, or first piece of technology I ever purchased. And the pager had a vibrate setting, but you didn't want it on vibrate, you wanted it on pager, so people knew you were important. You would hear it beep, we called it a beeper. So people would page you and it would beep and you'd be like, oh, I'm so important, I have to go find a payphone. This was the 80s. Running to find a payphone was the hardest thing to do, and you always had to have quarters because we didn't have cell phones then. If it was very important, they would page you, they would call the number, enter their number, and then put star 911, which meant you need to call me right now. So these beepers would go off in the middle of movies. It's kind of like cell phones now. And today I just walked around my house, I have 2 smart TVs, there are 4 laptops, there are 2 towers. Every single person in my house has a smartphone, which is basically a computer that you can also talk to as a telephone. It's amazing. At work I have stethoscopes that can record your heartbeat so I can hear it later. I have a thermometer that I just hold up to your head. I don't even have to touch you and it tells me your temperature. We have electronic medical records so I can see at a touch of my fingers where you've been, what you've had done, what drugs you've picked up, what prescriptions you've had filled. It's amazing how much technology there is out there. And what scares me is what's going to happen in the next 20 years. Everything will be computerized. Everything will be technologically advanced. Right now, I bet if you go out to dinner and you are sitting at a restaurant and you look around, there are people sitting at a table, none of them are talking to each other, they're all playing on their phones, or they're texting each other, which is just the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen. My family, I have 7 kids, and we have to all, when we go out to eat, we all put our phones face down on the table, and the first person who flips a phone over has to pay for dinner. And to pay for dinner for 9 people, it's expensive. They very rarely flip their phone over. But I think that we will have, rather than handheld devices, it will be something like an Apple Watch, and things will be projected, almost like a hologram, a 3D vision. You'll be able to have conversations with the hologram. Our houses will be completely automatic. I mean, I can already turn my lights on, or if somebody rings the doorbell, I can see their face. But I really think it'll be like, you know, lights on, fully automated house, cleaning, cooking, all of that will be automated. And my greatest fear is that we don't lose our humanity. We need to still go outside and play frisbee, and we need to still talk face to face. We still need to hug each other and touch each other, and I hope that still happens when we are so advanced. Thank you.